Welcome to the MotUS Edge, where we celebrate business, primarily youth sports facility management, leadership, and motivation. Co-hosted by Stacy Rowe, Stott, Kevin Brubaker, and Casey Jones. We are here to fill your cup with knowledge, laughter, affirmations, and comfort knowing that you're not alone. You can and will succeed with the MotUS Edge.
Hello, and welcome to the MotUS Edge Podcast. We are back today with another fabulous episode. I am Stacy Rowe, your host. I'm here with Kevin Brubaker and Stott. Casey is actually climbing a mountain today, so he is not with us. A mountain the size of Everest, up and down, I don't know, who knows. But anyway, he didn't have good Wi-Fi at the top of the mountain, so he couldn't join us today. So we do have two awesome guests with us. This morning we have Bill Seeley and John Newby from Varsity here to talk about Pro Cheerleading. Welcome, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, great to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I actually, next year, I think Casey's got me talked into doing one. The 29029.
Yeah.
We should do that.
I figure, turn 60. We might as well crest Everest.
He's trying to talk me into doing it with him, but I'm not game.
I'm good for the 29. I don't know if I'm good for the 29029. So it's like,
yeah.
So
I told Casey if there were cheerleaders on the sidelines passing out water, I would sign up to do that.
Oh, there we go. I think we have a new event type.
There you go.
I don't know if you've seen Casey's Facebook page, but him and his wife, Heather, and Emily, they're all doing it. And it's in Whistler. And so they took pictures of the rainbow and the mountain literally at the right time. And it was like literally the sun opened up through the clouds and they could see the peak for about 10 minutes. And then the clouds came back in and reality set in. But it is amazing. So
that's awesome. We'll check it out.
Praying for you, Casey. Hope it turns out great.
Out there.
So,
Roger too, right? Is Roger with him?
No, he did a different race this year. He did a race this summer. I think he did 3 marathons 3 days in a row somewhere.
I thought Roger was there. I thought it was Emily.
No, Roger did another race like a month ago. But I think he did 3 marathons. I don't think he ran them, but he did 3 marathons 3 days in a row, maybe in Aspen or Jackson Hole or somewhere. He went somewhere and did it really amazing, but did something different. So
interesting. Well, those things aren't on my bucket list. Yeah. So good luck to you next year, Bill.
Me neither, Newby.
Last time I went hiking, we just did LeConte, Gatlinburg with my wife and some friends. And I tore my hamstring about 4 years ago. And, of course, never went to the doctor, never did anything about it. About halfway up, and again, that's a casual hike with a group of friends. About halfway up, I just could barely walk. And they all got to the top and we're having a picnic. I limped in probably 30 minutes later, and Christy was so angry. She's like, I can't be married to someone who can't even hike up on just a casual hike up a mountain.
And y'all, we hear about this hamstring pain still 4 years later. He whines about it.
It's a real
We stick with golfing, Cole. We stick with golfing.
Yes, it's amazing how that
golf cart and have a couple adult beverages and just chase a white ball around. That's about my level of physical activity.
It's amazing how that hamstring affects him setting up for a competition. I'm shocked at that.
It's very convenient.
Nagging injury.
Well, tell us a little bit about Pro Cheerleading. What is it? Why did you guys decide to start it? What's the goal? We're excited. We're excited to hear all about
Congratulations. Can't wait.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. Why don't you kick it off? But Stacy, before we do that, congrats on your new book. Really exciting. Yeah. Lots of press, and thanks for including us. We're honored to be in it too. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Everybody go out and buy one.
Just being
put it on the New York Times bestseller list.
Or 10. Let's do it.
John, it was Bill got in easily, unanimous vote. Someone didn't vote for you. I'm not going to say who, maybe someone climbing a mountain, but all of us thought you were a shoo-in, but Casey felt differently. So I'm sorry.
I was surprised to get in, so I'm lucky to be in there.
No, you guys are icons. Very, well worth it. So excited to have you. So.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, Pro Cheerleading. So we just figured, why not? Actually, this is something we've been thinking about for quite some time. But we really felt like, now was the right time because of, the growth of cheer, globally, the level of talent. So when you think about, putting on like the best of the best. So when I started Team USA, in what was that, 2009, trying to recruit a team of, top talent was not easy. I mean, we had it, but, it took a while to get there. And the first year performance, like if you were to put that performance out on the floor today, it wouldn't even be in the medal.
Yeah.
The rest of the world's kind of caught up. And so, you think about number of teams, you got 4 teams, you got to have enough talent there to really be able to put on a great show. We want this to be, really positive fan engagement where it creates a lot of excitement around it. And in order, to do that, you've got to have great talent. And then hopefully from there, it really drives the number of young people participating in the sport. So we're doing a lot of cool things. I think they're cool things to really draw attention to, the athletes, the sport, that is broader than our ecosystem. Everybody's so passionate about cheer that is in this industry. And so this is also about really bridging outside of our industry and really grabbing appeal out in pop culture to really start growing the number of kids participating. That helps all the gyms. It helps school teams. Everybody benefits. And hopefully it grows globally as well as a result. So, it's all about continuing to level up the sport. And I think we've done a good job of helping to do that along the way. And this is just kind of the next step.
I saw you guys in New York holding signs, pro cheerleading. How did that go?
Newby, that was
It was great. Bill was doing the media stuff. We were out on the streets of New York doing some social media stuff ourselves. So it's funny. I sent my wife Mary a picture of me holding up a sign. I said, I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing, but this is we're having fun here in New York City. To be honest, the first thought that popped into my brain when I saw those pictures, I chuckled and I was like, look at these yahoos on the street of New York City. Yeah. Well, the number of people that stopped to take pictures and trying to figure out what we were doing was crazy. But the interest that we got while we were up in New York around, the press that Bill and Maddie did was pretty incredible. The hits that we've gotten since then, the interest. I mean, leagues are growing around the country right now. And we saw that, we worked with a consulting group in New York to help us put together, the initial stages of the league. But yeah, the press that we've gotten so far, the excitement, the reach outs have been really strong. And so we're looking forward to see where this takes us in the future.
Maybe went viral.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So what are the 4 cities that you're in right now? And then what's the future look like? How fast do you see it expanding? So where's it at?
Yeah, that's a good question, Cole. We've been talking about that. The 4 cities now are Miami, Atlanta, Dallas, and San Diego area. And so, we wanted a geographic disbursement where, cheer was popular already. Our consulting group helped us identify, we had several cities that were options. Those 4 stood out. And, we've got team managers in those cities that are going to help us build these teams. Tryouts are coming up here in a couple of weeks. So as far as where we go in the future, we're still talking about that. I mean, it's early. We haven't even had our tryouts yet. So we've had over 400 applicants that express some interest. And, so we'll see where it goes. There's, the overall plan includes expanding beyond 4 teams. We'll talk about international options in the future. We're going to get through this first season. And that's kind of where I've got my head down focused on getting all the pieces in place to get us through a successful inaugural season with a lot of support from Varsity. There's only a handful of us that are really focused on this full time, and the rest of us are balancing this with some of the other responsibilities we have. But so to be determined. But just back to Bill's point on the DNA that's just built into this company, it's like, from the summits to stunt to Team USA to, it's just like, what's next for us? We're not known to stand still and want to kind of press the limits a little bit. So when, Bill, this is really Bill's, his vision around the league and, now the Varsity Cheer League, which we purposely kicked off before the professional cheer league. And, we're just bringing it to life, and we've got the resources to do that, the support internally, from Varsity Brands and our investment group. We're really excited about the future. There's still a lot of work to be done, and we're just in the initial stages, but so far so good.
Do you guys have names yet that you can share? Or is that still top secret?
That one? We do.
Yeah. Yep. So you got Miami Metal. You have Atlanta Air, Dallas Drive, and Golden State Grit.
Awesome. Cool. Very cool.
So we've got logos designed. This is the Pro Cheer League logo. You can see there. This is a sample hat. You guys will all be getting hats. We'll send you guys some of the latest swag. We're gonna have a lot of stuff that we're gonna be giving out at areas. We really want to make sure that the cheerleading community really embraces that. It's really important, I think. At the end of the day, we want to do the right thing by the sport. That's always been kind of the first intent, and we think this is something that's going to really help bring energy around it. And
so a little fun fact about me that you guys may not know, but I'm a huge NFL girly. I am a gigantic Eagles fan, and when I saw the Pro Cheer League,
did you grow up in Philly?
Oh yeah, right outside of Philly. Yep. Just overside the wall.
Can't
over
you
the Walt
tell
Whitman
by
Bridge.
her voice? She's straight out of Jersey.
I've lost a lot of my accent, Bill, but I can bring it back whenever you want me to have it.
Yeah. I grew up in Newburgh, New York, so when I have a beer or two, I can my
accent comes back.
Yeah, and some other things that I try.
Well, I immediately thought about, just the NFL. I've actually done a lot of studying of the NFL and the owners and how they operate their clubs and their financials and where they get their financials from. I used to do this whole big spiel on that, and NFL clubs, winning versus their monetary success. Like take the Dallas Cowboys, for example. Yeah. They haven't won anything in a really long time, but they're still one of the most popular clubs out there. So anyway, so I think about the NFL, and I immediately was like, man, is this going to be, I know Varsity is behind it and starting it, but is this going to be kind of, are we trying to be more like an NFL league where there'll be additional cities, other owners can start teams and that kind of thing, and a true, professional league like the NFL where there's drafts and trading and, all those kinds of things?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the direction that we're going in and how we're thinking about it, Stacy. So right now we're taking all the risk on it, and the first couple of years, there's a pretty high risk rate in this. But I think everyone that we've talked to, everyone in the cheer community has been fantastic in supporting it. So we think it'll be successful. I think there's a time where those teams go outside of Varsity, a lot like we've done with some of the other initiatives that we've launched, and we just kind of let them go, and it can help expand across the United States, and then potentially do some fun things internationally as well to help grow the sport, continue to help grow the sport, around the world.
So what's the format?
Cheer is a great thing for kids to be involved in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's the format of the actual event and the structure of the routine? Is it more like school, stunt, all-star, mixture, something brand new? Like what are they actually?
I'll tackle that one. It's something brand new, Cole. It's a combination of all those things that you mentioned. So we wanted to take the best of all the elements of, collegiate cheer. When you say school, is probably more college level, level 6, 7, all-star, and then stunt elements as well. And one of the things that's really important for us is, as you guys know all too well, in all-star cheer, there's so much subjectivity in the sport and the judging, that we wanted to take as much of that out as we possibly could. And so so I'll tell you a little bit about the format. It's going to be a combination of all those disciplines, or derivatives of cheer, stunt, college, all-star, a little bit of mix, but we're going to have 3 rounds. The first 2 rounds are going to be head-to-head matchups, kind of a 4-team bracket. All 4 teams will compete in the first 2 rounds. They'll score points in those rounds. And then the final round is going to be more like a traditional routine that you see, let's just say an all-star, or in college too, not necessarily stunt, but kind of that entertainment value that comes out. Okay. And so that's what we're thinking on the format front, and how these matches will work. Go ahead, Bill.
No, I was going to say, yeah, we really wanted to make sure that it represented all the disciplines, so everyone could see, whether they're in one or multiple, they could all see elements of what they do in a professional realm. So they, if they love whatever vertical they're in, all-star, stunt, traditional, they could see a path for pro. So it would inspire, all the kids, regardless of the discipline that they were in. And, we did something similar when we launched Team USA. We wanted that team to represent all of cheer. Yeah. And so, from how we thought about the uniforms to, who we selected as coaches, we tried to really balance it at the beginning. And so we're going to try to do something similar with this.
Well, I think that both of you, Bill and John, have always appreciated and loved the athleticism of our sport. And I think, this is, the capper kind of thing, so just knowing you both personally and knowing how you believe in the fitness aspect, the athletic aspect, the amount of stunting, guy, girl, all that. And so I'm excited about that. And so kudos to both of y'all for doing it. It's going to be awesome. When is the season? Where do you go to see it? Where are these matches? Or has that been determined yet? Is there a schedule? I mean, if I'm in Des Moines, Iowa, and I want to go watch Atlanta Air, where do I go do that? So I'm not in Des Moines. I'm just, putting it out there. So
we got some options for you. So we're at procheerleague.com. We got an incredible website up already. Okay. But I'll walk you through it. These events all too well. We're going to, the practices start in November and December, but the first match is going to be in January around JamFest Super Nationals in Indy. Okay. And so we're theming these events. We haven't really announced this publicly yet, but as you can imagine, Indy will have some type of race theme around it. And by the way, as I go through the event schedule, to Bill's point earlier, reaching a broader audience, I mean, we're thinking of this not just like another cheer competition. The majors will be taking place still, in Indy, but we wanted like a mix of, American Idol and American Ninja Warrior with some cheer competition, stunt, a little mix of all-star and college in there. So that's what you can expect if you come from Des Moines, Iowa, or Charlotte, North Carolina, to see one of these competitions. So we'll go from Indy to Atlanta. You ever heard of that event, Kevin?
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty good.
It's it's going to be huge.
Brubaker bash.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. So we'll have the teams competing there. All of these events are going to be on Friday night. Then, as you guys know, NCAA All-Stars moving from Dallas to Houston. Houston's been a great city. We love Dallas. Houston has just, thrown the doors open, welcomed us with open arms down there. So actually that event is going to be at the Toyota Center where the Houston Rockets play. Wow. So that's the biggest venue that we're going to have on the tour this season. Then we wanted to mix in West Coast a little bit. So we're going out to Anaheim around USA All-Star. And then to end things up, we're going to be in Nashville around One Up, and there's that's actually our third largest event now in Nashville at the end of the season. So Cole, I know you were instrumental in putting that together a few years back.
I was going to say, little One Up coming out of Premier Athletics.
That's right. That's right.
All the time. I have a love-hate relationship with the city of Nashville. I love it.
Hey, I can relate to that.
It was I think that was the last event of 2020.
COVID,
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, John, you mentioned the Toyota Center. To the extent that you can tell us is the Pro League going to take place like on the competition stage, or is it going to be totally different production in a different venue? How's all that going to work?
Yeah, it's going to be different at every event, Cole. Right now, our focus has been, we know we've got this built-in fan base that wants to see higher level. You've got teams coming from all across the country to every one of these events that we just talked about. So, the venue options are going to be different in each location. Nashville, for example, the challenges, with the, with the Gaylord and the Convention Center and the space that we have there. We're actually going to be downtown in Nashville at the Municipal Auditorium down there.
Awesome.
So, we're going to use that. That'll be a standalone. Actually, the only event that we have that's kind of separated from the other competitions that we have going on. Although it's in Nashville, and we have a lot of people who stay downtown for that one-up event anyway. So, but yeah, it's going to be a little different. The production and the stage is going to be very similar. We'll have a different mat. We're going to have teams in the first 2 rounds going head to head against each other on the mats at the same time. So, there'll be the format's a little bit different, but the setup's going to be pretty similar. We're working on our live streaming options, media, so the lighting may be a little bit more than what you've seen in the past or what you would normally see at an event that'll be lit up for live streaming and broadcast.
I'm curious about the rules. Is it going to be the same rules? Are you guys going to up the ante a little bit? Like what's the plan on that?
Double back.
All good questions. We're now
bringing back the double back.
I love it. Well, right now, that's one of the things we're debating, Stacy, as a matter of fact. But, it's in between. Let's just say it's around level 7 all-star and a mix of college rules as well. So, as you know, we've got some incredible experts in-house, Leroy McCullough, Tony Nash. Those guys have been helping us, guide the process a little bit. Lark Wood has been leading the charge on the format and the rules, and he's been instrumental in getting us, to the point where we are now. But we're using our internal resources and some external resources too to kind of make the finishing touches. We've got the team managers in place. We've recently we haven't announced the coaches yet. We've got them on board now, and we're getting them. Kind of onboarded into the varsity system. They'll be employed by us as coaches for these league teams. And so we wanted, before we made any final decisions, they're obviously experts and, have a ton of experience. So we're in the process of getting some of their feedback and incorporating that before we make any final decisions on rules and even format. Actually, we're getting some feedback from them on format and the games we're going to be playing. So, it's working. As Bill likes to say, we're painting this ship as we sail. That's one of his.
That's kind of the motto of cheerleading, though, isn't it? Yeah. Like we figure it out as we go, right?
In this case, we're actually like painting the speedboat. There is no sailing.
A funny rules story. Speaking of rules, all of us are familiar with all these people. I've told this before, but I think it's worth repeating. Cheer sport way back in the day, 2001 or 2002, we created our premier, open team, and we're going. And
the greatest, most illegal open team of all time.
John McCready, former Olympian, was on the team with us. He was working for us, at Premier at the time. And we do a double layout, the first day, which cheer sport didn't, they were just free for all. Kevin didn't have any rules. He didn't have any boundaries on the floor. So we had all this stuff planned. So we were in first place after the first day, and we're beating Top Gun's open team, which, still a big deal. But at the time, it was a big deal for us to be in first place in the open division. Kevin comes to me that night. He's like, man, dude, who's that guy that did a double layout? It's like, man, it's all good. It's safe. He's an Olympian. John McCready, he can do it in his sleep. He's like, man, please don't do it. Next thing you know, everybody else is going to be trying to do double layout. So then I talked to the team. I was like, guys, what do you want to do? Like, everyone's like, man, we don't really care if we get first place. And, the crowd was huge. You remember back in the day, which still happens a little bit, but just not as much because there's so many different divisions spread out. But there'd just be a mass of people that would go from arena to arena running to watch it. So when we were getting ready to go on, they wanted to see Top Gun too. I think Stingrays had a team, whoever else. and everyone's packed in there, just a massive, massive crowd. We're like, all right, John, do it. But what Kevin didn't know till probably a year later. So he said he was going to give us a 100-point deduction, which took us, which was fine. But he didn't know, because he didn't have any boundaries. On the second day, our plan was we were going to throw the basket toss with a girl with a full into the crowd, and we had guys set in the crowd to catch her because it wasn't illegal. It wasn't against the rules. At the end, we backed out. I thought Kevin would hate me forever. He was already mad enough about the double layout, but he would have really loved it if we did a full into the crowd.
Yeah.
And hence the USASF was born.
Free USASF, and at the time, the rules, there were no rules. It's whatever.
There were no rules. That's why the reason we created it. Yeah, it was like the Wild Wild West.
Yeah, Kevin had 58 girls on a team out on the floor at the same event. Hey, what are you doing?
All that is a true story. I validate everything he just said. Unfortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it. So,
Good old days.
Kevin, why don't you tell us a little bit about MotUS?
So MotUS is a community of gym owners working together to help each other grow. As a member of MotUS, you get access to our Gym Owners Vault, which includes templates for every aspect of your business. We continue to add new resources every week. In addition, you're added to the private VIP owners Facebook group, as well as the opportunity to join monthly webinars geared towards gym owners and business. You also receive amazing discounts from our Prime Alliance event producers, the Cheer Expo, Choice Events, All Out Brands, All Day Cheerleading, World Cheer Company, and American Spirit Championships, and our other awesome affiliates like Infinity, Cheer Sounds, and Bookshop Fundraising, and more. As a member of the MotUS Business Expo Conference, you can come in September 28th, 29th, and 30th. It's in Nashville. It's included in your membership. It's an awesome business conference with 2 days of business development, leadership, and growth. The Business Expo is designed specifically with gym owners in mind. This year, we're hosting the Pioneers of All-Star book launch to celebrate the pioneers and the book. Woo woo, Stacy Rowe. Join the movement today at www.joinmotus.com. That's JOINMOTUS.com.
Awesome.
Yeah, which is cool. We only have 5 seats left this year.
It's actually 3 now, Cole.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had 2 sign up last night.
Expand it. Yeah, we're going to expand the venue. Try to allow for, but it's a really cool thing. And to John and Bill, appreciate y'all's support with it. I think Justin's actually coming this year and speaking at the conference. We had Jeff Haynes, and Jeff was our keynote speaker last year. So, it's really MotUS is something that's near and dear to all of our hearts. We're gym people at our core, and it's I think it's a really exciting, fun conference. A little bit different than what else is out there. So thanks for your support, and we look forward to the book launch on Monday night. That's really exciting. That one's getting up a little too big. I think we're creeping up on 300 people. So if Varsity wants to kick in and cover some expense for us, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you can buy it. We'd love to have you buy an hors d'oeuvre or two for that Monday night.
Here can sponsor the whole book launch.
Sponsored by the Pro Cheerlead.
Yeah, I love it.
So,
hey, congrats on the success you guys are having with MotUS. I know you're helping other gym owners out there. So much experience that you guys bring to the table. You're doing some good work out there.
Thank you.
We're trying.
We just do what Stacy says, and that mostly works out. So it's hard to get Casey to listen, but we try. And so, but Cole and I do exactly what she says all the time.
It's actually really hard to get Kevin to listen.
I'm shocked to hear that.
Yeah, well,
I'm the oldest and the wisest and the best listener. Yeah. Or maybe I have the most wax in my ears and I'm the worst listener. I'm not sure. So, well, I know that we're all dads here. Stacy's a mom, so I have a dad joke. So we do this every week. So, what do frogs order at restaurants?
I don't know.
French fries.
I was trying to think of what that would be on French fries. It was like I couldn't come up with it.
Well, Bill and I we're in granddad mode.
Yeah, we have granddad jokes in our place. You guys, like
we've
got like a million grandkids,
There you go.
Maybe 1,000,001 now.
Do you have any granddad jokes you want to share with us?
Yeah.
I'll go first.
That's amazing. We've never had a guest bring a joke. This is great.
Let's do it.
I got a few actually, but I won't. I'll just give you one. Why don't eggs tell jokes?
Because I don't know. I'm trying to think about something about mixing them up.
They would crack each other up.
There you go.
I think that one might be better than Kevin's.
I think so. I think the granddad joke wins the day.
The last one. What did one strawberry say to the other strawberry?
What?
If you weren't so sweet, we wouldn't be in this jam.
I actually really like that one. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
That comes with 9 grandkids.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. We did a dad joke face-off one time, and Casey and Kevin were telling jokes, and Cole and I were supposed to not laugh, and I totally lost. I couldn't keep a straight face through the whole thing.
The joke would even start. It was the easiest contest I've ever won, actually.
And honestly, neither joke was that funny, but Stacy she couldn't hold on. So anyway, if you have a dad joke or a granddad joke, you can email it to stacy@joinmotus.com. That's STACY @JOINMOTUS.com.
That's awesome. Bill, you have a granddad joke you want to share?
Oh, let's see here. Why did the tomato turn red?
I don't know.
Wow.
You saw the salad dressing.
You guys are good.
Yeah,
I think you need to submit the dad jokes for the podcast.
Yeah.
Let's go on Brock.
Yeah.
Let's ask Brock.
Oh, you got one?
No, I don't. I do have some. But I usually let Casey and Kevin do it. They have this whole banter between them that I try to stay out of. But they are constantly going at each other. I try to be Switzerland and just stay out of.
Well, I don't know if this qualifies as a dad joke or not, but it reminded me when Kevin said everybody listens to Stacy. You know, I do my best to listen to Mary, but I'm trying to give her some advice and direction every now and then too. I told her she needed to embrace her mistakes. She gave me a hug.
That's good. Awesome. That is good.
Let's dive a little bit deeper into tryouts and not to get too far into the weeds, but you know, how you already mentioned tryouts are coming up in September. What's the tryout process look like? Is it typical all-stars tryout? Does everyone do it the same way, or does each team manager have, the option to pick how they want to do it in each city?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, we've been talking to the team managers and the coaches a little bit, but I mean, it's what these guys do on a regular basis, right? It's their area of expertise, not really ours. We're giving them a little guidance and direction and answering some questions, but and a lot of us are going to be there for support. I know Bill will be in Atlanta and Dallas. I'm going to be in Miami and Atlanta, and we're sending Justin, out to the West Coast, and he'll be back in Dallas. A lot of us, Nicole, Lashare, our CMO, is going a couple. Maddie will be there. So we're gonna send out, some of the varsity resources to help with the tryouts, but we're just there for support. So, we're gonna let them go through the process, select, make their final selections that day. We'll have some Varsity Spirit Fashion representatives there. We'll start the initial sizing of uniforms, and then, like everything that we do now, the coaches, the athletes will have to go through our onboarding process. They'll all be employees just like our staff. So there'll be a little delay before we announce the teams and get all that set up. That we're giving them a little flexibility, Cole, to do what they know how to do, better than we do, and that's pick a really strong team.
John,
sorry, go ahead, Kevin.
Are they only allowed to try out at one spot? Like if I don't make it in Miami, can I go to Dallas, or are the tryouts at the same time on purpose, or what? Like, what's the format?
They're the same weekend. So what we're doing to address that is they have to pick one location to go try out. We've got a video crew that's going to be at each location, and the team managers are going to share across. Let's say somebody needs a back spot or, a co-ed male that they're missing from their tryout. After the tryouts are over, they're gonna have a list of those athletes that maybe weren't selected, but were really close because they had too many back spots or too many tumblers or so they're going to share some information back and forth. And so there is a possibility that somebody tries out in Miami and they don't have a spot for them in Miami, but Dallas needs
oh, wow.
That position. So
I totally envision like a week-long, NFL draft televised on TV that people can watch. And, we'll have, what do you call it? The fantasy draft and all the things like, 10, 15 years from now, it's coming. I see it.
Let's do it sooner.
Everybody
needs to embrace it. The sooner we embrace it, the sooner we'll get there.
I'll apply to be your Roger Goodell.
Yeah. When we started, Bill is a visionary, man. And Bill's got this unique, I talk about these types of people that I run into over the years, like dreamers and dazzlers and doers and doomers, but anyway, Bill's this unique combination of dreamer and doer. And so it's Nicole and I were talking the other day, and every meeting that we're at, we're pulling out a notebook going, did you hear Bill say that, let's add that to the list. So the draft is something that we started talking about earlier. We're not ready yet, but I think in the future that will be part of the process that we look at to have these combines across the country, and then a draft potentially once we get this first season under our belt. So
is it too late if somebody wants to try out? Is it too late for them to sign up? How do they go about signing up? Like, in case somebody's listening and they want to come, like, what do they need to do?
Yeah, the sign up deadline is over. Tryouts are coming up in about a week and a half. Not this weekend, but next weekend. And so after. Or actually, it's that's not right. It's September 6th and 7th. So I think it's like 2.5 weeks. But I mean, if there's interest and somebody shows up at the location to try out, they'll have to fill out all the paperwork and go through the same process. But we're not really turning anybody away.
So they can show up on site.
They can,
and they can find out where that information is and where the sites are on the website procheerleague.com.
It is. Yeah. All the information's on the website. So we're not encouraging that, but we will have, because this is our first year, we're trying to be as flexible as we can be. And really we want the best and most qualified athletes who are going to represent, the varsity and the pro cheer league and these team managers in the best possible way they can. So
the $1 million question, or maybe it's more than $1 million question, is how much, if you're able to say, are the athletes getting paid, and are they all getting paid the same thing? Is Peyton Manning making the same as Cole Stott if he was trying to play in the NFL?
Hopefully not.
Making a lot more.
With his bum hamstring still, he's making a lot more.
Let's just say for right now, they're all gonna get paid the same. Now, it doesn't mean that that we're gonna limit them on other, let's just call them NIL deals, or some of the sponsorship deals that some of these athletes are probably gonna bring along with them. We're gonna be pretty open to that. It's definitely not a full-time salary. It's an hourly rate right now to get things started, and we'll pay them for their practices. Obviously, we'll pay them when they're at the matches. But for right now, that's where we needed to get started. So paying these athletes to be a part of something that they love to do right now and actually get paid for it. What a challenge that's been for some of the open team members that want to continue their careers. So we think that will. We think that'll change in the future.
You mentioned like NIL deals, are you expecting or open to or okay with, outside? I mean, obviously there's a lot of people in the sport of cheerleading that aren't all varsity. So, are you guys open to those possibilities? Is that acceptable 100%. To your, for your athletes?
Yeah. Like one of the things we're going to focus on is really making much of the athletes. We're going to be promoting them. We're going to be, highlighting them at events. We're going to be, getting, trying to help build their brand as well. And then that's going to come with opportunities for them that might be, intuitively counter to what varsity would do, but it's what's best for the sport. And are
they allowed to cross over? I mean, can they do the pro league as well as still be a collegiate cheerleader or still be on an open team or is it only do this team for this season?
For the first year, Kevin, we're allowing some more flexibility there, right?
Okay.
The only restriction we have is you can't be in high school, or two really. You can't be in high school, and you have to be over 18.
Okay.
So so we think right now we're seeing a mix of those who aren't cheering at all but have in the past, those who may be on an open team, some coming from a college team. So we're seeing a pretty broad mix of athletes and their backgrounds and where they're coming from. Eventually, awesome. we want to get to the point where this is the only team that they're on. But to do that, we're probably going to have to up the ante on
sure.
What we're paying them and the expectations there.
Wow, that's awesome.
We talked about the events and the event cities. Is there plans down the road to add more event cities? And then will it just be the Pro League at the events? Or are you guys going to be incorporating anything else in the event as well?
Yeah, I think we'll add cities to it in the future, Stacy. I think if you go back to stunt, when we started that, we put it at NCAA college nationals because we knew that there were a large number of heavy users that just absolutely love
sure.
cheer, and it was a way for us to kind of get the word out. So that's why this first year we're kind of laying it on top of these bigger events, so that it gets a little bit more visibility, gives it a better opportunity to grow. I think if we really look out and go, okay, where can this go, and where do we hope it goes? I think you think about a full season, right? You think about athletes, Cole's earlier question where it's stratified based on value that the player is providing for the particular team. I think you extend it, and this is just this is one of the things that John's going to take out his maybe
start taking some notes here.
Start writing, but if you think about it, like I want these kids, like these athletes, to be able to be on the U.S. national,
right?
Or go back to Finland or Sweden or wherever they're going, so they can participate in what I think is probably one of the best, events in the world.
Agreed.
In the ICU World Championship.
Yeah.
Maybe that's mid-season, and that's our All-Star break, and then we come back and we go a couple more weeks in the summer just to continue to keep people excited about the sport when it's
I'm going to put you on the spot for a second. Would there ever be an opportunity for like outside events to petition or apply or whatever you want to call it to host a pro cheer league event?
Sure. Yeah. We'd be open to that. Actually, John's working with another event producer now for one of the events. So we are always going to try to do the right thing for the sport. And so
I just really hope that it takes off with non-cheer. I'm assuming that's the goal. It's like, one of the greatest sport. I love football. There's nothing more exciting than a 2.5 hour arena football game with the music and the fireworks and the electronics. And, if you even remotely like football, arena football it really is
I love
amazing.
It, and I never played it a day in my life.
Yeah. But, it's like, but I would love it if, if you go to a city and half the people going to the event are non-cheerleading people, because the appeal would be, go spend $50 or whatever a ticket is to be able to watch this and see all the things. And, it's like going to any sporting event, so I hope it takes off like that. I'm sure y'all feel the same way, but just the thought process of that happening would be amazing. So
that's a great point, Kevin. And that is part of our vision, that, that cheer overall, especially in the all-star space, hasn't grown like we saw it grow,
right.
10 years ago. Right. And so to broaden the base and the interest, and to have parents who, can come to one of these PCL events and go, wow, this is really cool. My kids have something to shoot for. I want to put my kid in all-star or school or stunt or,
right.
and get them involved in this activity. That we all know, what it can do from a leadership and a discipline and a teamwork standpoint, to help those kids grow beyond their cheer years. And so that's what we're hoping for too. You hit the nail on the head, is expanding, growth outside of the typical cheer community. So if that happens, then
helps all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the grassroots level.
I'm curious what the fan base was for the show Cheer that were not cheer people. I don't know what those numbers are. Maybe y'all know that, but it's like,
it's
thousands.
Big.
Yeah.
It's big because it was, number one on Netflix for, I think 10 weeks in a row.
Yeah. Right.
And that's one of the strategies we're trying to do with our media partner, is build out shoulder content that is more pop culture-ish, unscripted, that can help, bridge into the, not the typical cheerleading world.
Yeah.
So I kind of have a question a little bit off script. The MotUS Edge podcast, we are about business and trying to help, gym owners and different things like that. And we talk about a lot of different things, but I think it's interesting, we have you guys here and you mentioned earlier the risk. And I think that, as gym owners, for any of our gym owners that are listening, sometimes it's hard to take a risk, take a leap of faith, start a new program, add a new team, move into a new building, not that I'm encouraging anybody to do any of that, but you talked about that. And I know, we all on this call know, you're probably, and you don't have to answer these questions exactly, but my guess is you're losing money. You're planning to lose money on this in the first year, maybe the first 2 years. Hopefully by year 3, you're turning a profit. The plan is for the long-term vision. Obviously, you guys are in a different position than most people, but my point in all that I'm trying to get to is that, you can take that and give advice to any size business, small, medium, large, varsity size business. It doesn't really matter. It's all the same thing. It's about, taking the risk at the right time and that it is still a risk. Just because you guys are varsity doesn't mean that this is going to go well. I hope it does. Don't misunderstand me. But the point is it's still, it's taking a leap of faith, and what kind of advice or suggestions or thoughts or just whatever, would you share with other business owners out there?
Yeah. You want to go first, Bill?
Go ahead.
Well, I would say it reminds me a little bit of the summit when we started that event, and Cole, Kevin, you guys may remember some of this, but, to make that work, we had to invest in paid bids to start with. And so, as we were working through that, Dennis Worley was involved and Damien, and we were trying to do some math. And, I remember getting in front of Jeff Webb at one point in time and telling him after some research and, looking at the data, I think this could really work. And he said, well, what if it doesn't? What do we have to risk? And I said, look, if only the paid teams come, I think it's going to cost us with all the commitments to Disney. I think it's going to cost us just over $1 million. And he sat back in his chair and went, how much do you believe in this? I said, Jeff, I think it's a game changer and I think it'll work. And he was, let's give it a shot. And so, I don't know from an advice standpoint, I think that sometimes you don't know, what the result is going to be. But if your instinct is that you can make this work, then, I think if you don't go for it, you'll never know.
Right.
And, whether it's a moving to different locations, starting another team. And, that's kind of where we are with the Pro Cheer League. We talked about it for a long time. There's a lot of unknowns, but we're putting our heart and soul into this initiative, and we think it'll be good, not just for varsity, but, for the industry overall. The athletes, if we can broaden the base and grow this, more internationally and create some excitement and give this kind of pinnacle to reach for, to be a part of one of these professional cheer teams, then, I think it could change things. So I think calculated risks are really important. If you believe in it, go for it.
Well, who said the quote, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take?
Yeah.
Some athletes said that.
I think that was Michael Jordan.
Was it Jordan? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Speaking of quotes, Bill, before you go, I think Stacy's quote kind of ties into this. So Stacy, why don't you give us your quote and then let's see your
Yeah, so we always wrap up every podcast with a quote from Simon Sinek. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Simon Sinek, but he's my favorite.
Why?
Yes, he's amazing. I've read all of his books. I've actually seen him in person, have an autograph. I'm a fangirl. He's, I'm his bestie. He just doesn't know it yet. So anyway, so we always do a Simon Sinek quote. We kind of talk about it. And so the quote is, success can be dangerous. It has a tendency to shut our eyes to opportunity and cover our ears to the ideas of others. And then we talk about it and unpack it. So what do you guys think of that quote?
Wow.
So I'll start with it, and it's kind of a tribute to Varsity and both of you two and Jeff. It's like obviously Varsity's been really successful in the industry, developed the sport, created the pathways for all of us on this call to be successful in what we're doing. But it's always looking for the next big thing. What's next, and not just sitting still. One of my favorite things that Jeff used to say. Stacy and Kevin get exhausted. I say it all the time, almost in every meeting, is that when the wind's at your back, sprint. And I feel like we're sprinting right now, and we're taking a lot of different ideas. But in the same breath, is Varsity has been hugely successful, but still taking risk and still going out there, still listening to others people's ideas, still being open to that is the way I take it.
That's good, Cole. And I think it's easy sometimes just to keep doing what you're doing, right? That may be the easiest thing to do. And so that quote to me stands out as, when you take these chances, it could be dangerous. It creates a lot of work. It creates a lot of uncertainty, and some risk. But if you're willing to take it and run with it and know that, the work that you do and that you're surrounded by the right people to help you, support that work, then, not every risk we've taken has worked, by the way.
People always want to talk about the ones that work.
and so, yeah. And so that's what stands out to me. But, you got to take them and you got to keep moving forward. Otherwise, why do what you're doing? I mean, just to, going through the motions sounds boring to me.
Yeah.
So just continuing that challenge.
Well, and I'll add too, I hear from everybody, they talk about my friendship with Cole and Stacy, and I tolerate Casey, but obviously the four of us are so different in so many ways. Bill, you talked about the vision and the stuff that you do and the ideas you do. I mean, we got one of those. His name is Cole Stott, and he comes up with 50,000 things like, man, we ain't doing that. And then it's like, okay, well, yeah, what time are you going to do that? Because it's just crazy what goes through his mind. So I am blessed to be with these three yahoos and the growth that we've had, because we have so many different ideas and we come from different backgrounds and we do things differently. And so I love that part of the quote about listening to others, because I'm not always the best listener, but I do listen to most of the things, and I know it's made us better for it.
Yeah, that's it. I think, that my wife told me a long time ago, she's like, you need a kite string. And you've got this, you have dreams, you have visions, and you have strengths, right? Everyone's got their strengths, but everyone also has their weaknesses and blind spots. And I've got a lot of them. And so a lot of blind spots. And so, it's a matter of, attaching people with those strengths to you, with you, that can kind of, map out a path for you that keeps that kite, up and flying. And without that kite string, and without listening and surrounding yourself with really smart people, you can end up in a really bad place. But if you do surround yourself with really smart people, then you typically can soar.
Love it.
Awesome.
Love it.
Well, one thing that we are going to do today it's new. It's a new thing that we're going to do today.
Well,
we just started it.
Song or something before each of these things.
Oh my goodness. It's not a jingle, but what is one question that you would ask to our listeners? And we're going to post that question when we post this podcast. And we ask our listeners to go to our social media and follow us at Join MotUS and comment their answer to your question. So what would be your question that you would ask?
You going, John? I'm ready.
I'll go. I mean, what do you think about the professional cheerleading? I'll leave it open-ended with pros and cons.
Okay.
And then I will add on, what would you like to see in the format, and who do you want to see on a pro team? Kind of two questions. But
I want to see Newby throw up Sealy in a tossed chair. That's what I want to see.
And it would be the other way around.
No, well, if it's the other way around,
that'd be a 120-year-old chair.
If it's the other way around, I want it to be a split catch, please. So, yes.
Thank you both for coming on today. Like I said, it means a lot to us. Appreciate what you're doing what you're doing for the sport, and keep on,
awesome.
Pushing all of us forward. It's kind of on a much, much, much smaller level. MotUS has, similar goals trying to help. When we started, we have two goals, and I say it every day. Our first goal is how do we increase participation? And by increasing participation, that helps everybody involved in the sport,
yep.
the industry, at every level. And then the second one is really how do we make the gyms more profitable, which goes to the business side. I think we're making some real strides with that. Got a lot of that thought process from both of you guys and from Varsity, and really just appreciate everything that you guys continue to do.
For sure.
To help elevate all of us.
Wait, I have a quick story.
All right.
I know we're supposed to wrap up.
Of course you do. Go ahead, Kevin.
Wait, John, is that a Clemson helmet in the back corner there of your office?
It is.
So I don't know if y'all know this. When I started Charlotte All-Stars in 1990, we had homemade uniforms. And the next year in 91, Newby was my uniform rep, driving up from Greenville to Charlotte and selling us purple, black, and white uniforms. Purple was brand new in the Varsity catalog, and Newby was my uniform rep. That was literally 35 years ago. So
my first All-Star account, and then my entry into, learning more about All-Star. You and Scott Williams, man.
Well,
I'll never forget that. Yeah.
Scott Williams, shout out. Yeah. Still working in the Gainesville office. Awesome.
I think big surprise. I think big surprise. Newby's first interaction with me was probably in a conference room meeting where he left going, "Wow, she's pretty direct."
The Northeast girl in her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, thank you all for what you're doing, and Cole, it is important what you guys are doing. I think that focus of supporting the industry, trying to grow it and get more kids involved in a positive way. We all know it's great for young people. We've all benefited from it on this show, and appreciate all you guys do. I really do. And love you.
Thanks, Bill.
Look forward to seeing you next month.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much. For our listeners out there, be sure to follow us on YouTube at the MotUS Edge. Give us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Join MotUS. And wherever you listen to your podcast, if you like what we're doing, give us a shout out and leave us a review. Thank you guys so much for listening. Be sure to tell your friends, and we are excited for you to have the MotUS Edge.
Thank you for listening to the MotUS Edge. We hope you had a blast. Join us next week for more on business, leadership, and motivation. Subscribe and follow the show where you get your podcasts. Subscribe to our newsletter at joinmotus.com. The MotUS Edge podcast is produced by ClantonCreative.com.